Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Swigz Talks Spurs. Today we're going to dive straight into it. We're going to get our hands stuck in. We are talking about Spurs versus Crystal Palace, a must-win game if ever there was one for both sides this Thursday night coming up. It's going to be a juicy one. It's going to be a tasty one. I'm going to go run through all different things. I'm going to go through the form both teams are in, some tactics that I think that are worth noting, key players for both sets of fans, why I feel this is a must win for Spurs, and then we'll go through just at the end of the video some lineup and prediction scoreline. So if all that excites you as much as it excites me, strap yourself in, give this video a thumbs up. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button as well, that would be greatly appreciated. Before we get started, I just want to say massive, massive, massive. I'll do a clapping more so that you deserve than what Xavi Simmons gave us at the weekend. Just say thank you. Thank you so much for the last video. It was brilliant, really, really good, really well received by you. So thanks so much for that. It meant so much to me that that was well liked. So that's great. So I'll keep them coming. I'll keep these videos rolling. Um, as I say, I'm really happy that I'm doing this. So I'll keep the ball going. So yeah, that's a real positive for me. So thank you all for that. Really. Um, Now, from less of a positive note, we're going to go into the form for both teams. Now, getting into this video. So, I suppose from Spurs fan with perspective, first off, there's nothing positive to be with this at all. We come off the back of a really shocking performance against Fulham. It should have been about 7-1. As I touched on here in my last video, where I gave all my reactions to it, it should have been 7-1. We lost 2-1 in the end. We were useless in that game. We were just red raw useless. Absolutely shocking. And we need to win this game now. We need to put in a performance. Tudor needs to get his team selection right. He needs to get his players playing a certain way, which is just to win. It doesn't matter how we do it, as long as we win on Thursday night and come away with the 3 points. As things stand, we are 4 points clear of West Ham United, who are, you know, doing us a favour in performing equally as poorly, really, and results not going their way. But we are also only, I think, 2 points clear of Forest as well. So things could be really, really interesting if both Forest and West Ham end up getting a result now between tonight and tomorrow. Tonight when both teams play. So it'd be really interesting to see how they handle that. If Spurs players are coming into it knowing that West Ham are only a point off of us, will that get into the player's head? Will that get into their psyche? We hope not, but you never know. We don't exactly have a team full of leaders, a team full of strong players. It's definitely strong mentally, as it seems. So it would be interesting to see if that affects us in any way, shape, or form. Palace equally come into this game on a back end of poor performance, not performances maybe, especially the game against United last week where they went down to 10 men and they conceded a penalty. They lost 2-1. But from what I saw, they actually did put in a reasonable performance against the Red Devils. But they again, like Spurs, but unlike Spurs, I suppose, putting in a performance, they haven't put in a good enough points tally. They haven't. So Palace could easily get sucked into that relegation fight as well. So it'd be interesting to see how they cope with that pressure as well, coming in knowing that they need to win also in order to maybe stave off um, relegation, for instance. Next up, with how both teams are going to set up. So with us, Spurs, we need something. We need some structure. We need balance. We need stability. That's why I think Tudor has to go back. He has to go simple. He has to go back easy. 4-2-3-1. Easy as that. Stick to that. Play the players in the appropriate positions that they were bought for, that they're trained in, and leave them do the business with that. From Spurs' point of view, that we've seen with Tudor in the last two games, is that we have no midfield. We have midfield players on the field. We had four of them on last week, but our midfield is as open as a dam. There's just no one stopping, no structure, no cohesion, no players kind of knowing where to be when and when to go, when to leave space. With Gallagher out right wing and against Fulham, what that's just plain useless. Yeah, he can run up and down like a Duracell bunny, but that's not his position. His position is in the middle of the park where he can do that running. Same with Polina. That's his position. If we give Palace any bit of time in the midfield, Wharton will expose us. The likes of Warren and even with Hughes as well. They have quality in that central park that can really hurt Spurs. So I do think a midfield area is going to be really key for us to try and neutralise. Palace, on the other hand, in terms of, I suppose, a tactical analysis point of view, their attack is their biggest strength. I think maybe this season, obviously they're built on a very solid defence. I would say that, but they're missing key players that which I'll touch on later. They're missing some of those, so we have to try and expose that. We have to try and get at their defence. I think that's an area we can exploit with our attack, I believe. But flip it, I think their attack is can expose our defence as well. You have certain players there that are built for taking us on, and I suppose there will be certain players that will want to come out and prove a point. You can probably guess one in particular who wants to make it his business, and you just know he will get on the score sheet. I'll leave you in suspense for that to see who you can think of. But with that, I suppose it brings me on to our key players that we need to rely on in this game. Three that I've highlighted. Two of them you might agree with me on, so let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Number one, I think, is Richie. I think he has to start. He looked good when he came on at the weekend. Then again, he always looks good when he comes on at the bench because it's almost like a middle finger to the manager saying, like, right, well, you didn't start me. I'm going to go out and prove it now. So I think he's going to come on. I think he's key for us to try and get anything from set pieces and to frustrate the Palace defence. So for me, Richie has to start. Also on the left, I think Matisse Tell he just needs to play. We are crying out for something. He has looked the most. I've seen on some channels that they've said that Tell looks like he's just chasing the ball, that he doesn't know what he's doing at it. I completely disagree. I think his dribbling is actually very good. He showed that I think against Fulham. Like if it weren't for his dribbling, Archie Gray wouldn't have done an overlap, and he wouldn't have been part of us getting a goal at least. So don't agree with some fans thinking on that. Don't agree with some fans' opinion on Matisse Tell anyways being, Spurs' worst player when the kid hasn't even gotten a chance. So, make that what you will. Personally, for me, I think he's a quality player. He just needs to be given the chance and given confidence in that. And I think Palace tomorrow night is the game to do that for us. And the last player I think for us, Polina, best player all season. The last few games he's had an absolute horror fest. But for me, he is key in this. He is absolutely key in us managing to get something from this game. He has to be in the middle of the park and he has to be able to do what he does best, which is intercept and break up play. If we get that right, I think we stand a better chance of getting something from the game. If I look at it from the Palace point of view, then main three players for me are Johnson. He will be out to prove a point against us. He'll want to showcase what Spurs are missing out on. Because if we had him now, he'd be starting every game with the amount of injuries that we have. So he'll definitely score. He's just written for me. Strand Larson as well up top has started life with the Eagles really well. Since his big money move from Palace, I think he can cause us such, I suppose, trouble in the box. He's very like Jimenez in that sense, where Jimenez kind of bullied Radu and Van de Ven last weekend. I think Strand Larson will do the exact same thing with us. And then obviously Adam Wharton goes without saying he's probably one of the more technical players. He still had, I think, a dip in form as of late, but still, give him space. He'll ping the ball over the top, and the likes of Johnson or even Jeremy Pino will come in and can cause our defence absolute havoc. So those are my three kind of players for both sides and players to keep an eye out on. Next, why I think that this is bigger for Spurs as it is for Palace. Like I said at the start, relegation. We need to win. We need to build momentum. this is the perfect place to start in order to get 3 points because in less than 2 weeks' time, on Mother's Day, the 15th of March, we play Liverpool. Now, we have no good record with Liverpool in recent time, and I'm not predicting us to get anything from the game, which is added pressure on why we need to get the 3 points for this game against Palace. And I suppose with that then leads me on to even kind of side tangent. I love it. I love me tangents. Um, that puts pressure, so it deals mentally. Are our players mentally ready to cope with the pressure? I don't think they are. I don't. I think they are just dwarfed of all confidence. I think with Tudor being as bluntly honest as he has been in the past has actually kind of had an adverse effect, really. No player has really galvanized towards it. No player is like, maybe even Richie, maybe, or and Polinia, but not really, even though, So I think Tudor probably needs to maybe be a little bit softer. Maybe he's softer behind the scenes and he just comes out in the public and is just, you know, gun ho hard ass like that. But I don't really think he is. He doesn't seem like the character to be kind of one way with this person and then another way with the media. He seems to be like, I am who I am, take me or don't. So yeah, be interesting maybe to see if we can cope as as the Spurs players, if they can cope with the pressure that this is a cup final. Every game's been a cup final now for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but this really is a cup final for us. So it'll be interesting to see can we handle that. Because make no mistake, I think Palace coming into this, I would never say Palace are favourites. Spurs are underdogs in this. They have to be. In recent times, the roles would have been reversed. Spurs would have, we'd be welcoming Palace here. We'd have walked them through. It'd be, I'd be confident in 3-0, 3-1, 4-1 here, 4-2 maybe. Now it's different. The roles have reversed. Palace have been putting in good performances. They'll take their positives from the United game. Yes, they could say they were hard done by the VAR. Yes, they've now also lost Lacroix at the centre of the park. That's going to be a huge, huge loss for them. Richie will need to expose that as best as he can. They still have Richards, they still have Munoz in their defence, and still obviously Henderson is a quality goalie, but they're missing Lacroix, who's their best centre half. We need to get at him, and we need to get at him fast. So that's why Spurs will need to come out tomorrow night, all guns blazing for the first 30, 40 minutes, I think. Just throw at them. See if we can nick a goal here or there and just shut up shop then once if we go about 1, 2, 3. I say we're gonna go up three. We haven't I don't even think we've scored 3 goals this season. Um at all, really. In a game. Although you might remember more than me. If you do so, please let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, so next up we're gonna go into just my lineups. So who I think from I'm only gonna do Spurs because that's all we really care about on this channel. Um so yeah, in goal, I do think so. I'm gonna go I think what Tudor should do. 4-2-3-1. Vicario in net, Porro, Radu, Danso, and Van de Ven, I think. Alternatively, I would say Van de Ven and Danso in the middle of the park with Souza on the left back. That would be like my second option, but my first option would be Radu, Danso, and try Mickey Van de Ven on the left. Give him a left back. He plays there for Holland. Let him. He loves to have license to free roam. He can do the least amount of damage if he loses possession at left back than if he does at centre half and he's bombed 60 yards up the field, lost the ball, and then we're man short at centre half. So I think put them four. Obviously, Vicario's had been just useless this season. I've seen some fans chanting and wanting Kingski or even Austin. Don't know what you've been thinking, lads, but if Kingski's not pushing Vicario in training that he can't get into the squad, why would we give him a baptism of fire in this game of all games? I don't see that. Kingsley himself probably doesn't. He'll probably be out in the summer, I would imagine. So yeah, I don't subscribe to that. Vicario's the best what we got, but what we got is not great. So yeah, so I'd stick with those as a back five. In the two pivots, I have Polinia and then Gallagher beside him. And then my front three, then on the left, Matisse Tell, Xavi in at the 10, and on the right, I'd go Kolumuani with Richie up top. That's what I would go with. I think that team is more balanced. You could maybe take out Gallagher and put in Basuma, then Basuma and Polinia. I know it's very defensive minded, so then maybe that's too conservative. Um, in that sense, so maybe you could do a Basuma, Gallagher, but I would start Polinia and Gallagher, give them both there. Gallagher, he's going up against his former club. I know he was on loan at Palace, but he knows how they play, he knows how they operate, so maybe that could help in some way, shape or form. And then obviously Richie up top then to just see us out, ideally. So yeah, so that brings me on then to conclude. What do I think is going to happen? I think Spurs are going to have an absolute shocking game. But I'm also going to say Palace will have an equally shocking game. I think it will be a tough game to watch. It's not going to be too pretty, I don't think. Um, which is actually why I am going to go with Spurs 2-1 win. Now you might be thinking, Swiggs, why are you going with 2-1? I'm going with 2-1 simply because I think we have to. We've had to know the last 3 weeks, bear that in mind. But I think this week it's essential we get 3 points against Palace because we're not going to get anything from Liverpool. That's just a dud. That's another one. So this is a game that we need to get 3 points from. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 with us. We're going to score a set piece. Johnson's going to get an equaliser, and we're going to nick it in the 89th or 90th minute from another set piece. I'm praying that it's Tell and Richie. Those two, I'm thinking that we're going to score. So, yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. Is there any key players that you think that I've missed out on or I've overlooked? Maybe you think, how have I missed this person or that, or maybe have I been not as critical of Spurs players as I should been? Give me your opinions down below in the comment section. And yeah, let me know what your predictions are as well down below. If you think we're going to get anything from them, if you're not, why not, all that good stuff. I love interacting with anyone else that pops comments on. It's always good to interact and debate and get the ball rolling with those types of things. So if you like the video again, hit the thumbs up button, share it wherever you can. Hit the big red button as well, the subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated. We're on the road to, we're trying to get to 10. If I can get to, we were trying to get to 10 before the season ends. That would be savage. That would be absolutely savage to go. So please do that if you wouldn't mind. That'd be really, really class. And yeah, that's all really for me today. So let me know your thoughts on all these lovely stuff down below. Thanks very much everyone for watching. If you stuck to this far in the video, thank you so much. And yeah, let's hope Spurs can get those all elusive 3 points against the Eagles tomorrow night because we need them. Thanks very much. See you in the next one.